Welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're going to be going over some new VR news and new VR games. And to be honest, there isn't much going on in July, unfortunately, but that's what the point of this video is. Found some cool stuff going on, I wanted to share it with you. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and get subscribed, or don't get subscribed, because apparently 75% of you aren't subscribed but you're still watching the videos, and that is what means the most to me. After 2 years of total radio silence, tactical VR shooter Geronimo is now coming to Steam in early access for $20 on July 10th. Now, unfortunately, I won't be able to drop a review for this one or feature it because I'm going away for a couple of weeks. And when I return, I'll be going full force and everything, because hopefully Steam Frame will be dropping around that time. And obviously, I can't wait to feature that. But as you guys know, when you buy a game off Steam, you've got 2 hours to refund it. But either way, I think this one could be pretty good. This looks like a mix of Tactical Assault, which is a really cool game, and Ready or Not. And it features up to 6-player co-op, tier 1 operations, and a procedural mission generator that alters the room layouts of the game and the enemy placements every single time you drop into a mission. And the one thing these guys are really talking about is the close-up mechanics, physically adjusting gear on your vest. The weapons physically collide with the walls, which is something I love in VR. Physical weapons, physical levels. So to add also to this physical realism, your gear placement matters, weapon length matters. So if you bring a long rifle into a close quarters battle, say in a hallway, it will physically collide with the environment. And weight actually impacts your stamina, which is something I personally have not come across before outside of a melee game, for example. It also features some really smart AI, apparently, where these guys will actually try and get out of the way of you, or even hide under beds or in closets. So overall, this sounds pretty cool, and it's also coming to Quest later on this year. My own game, Exoshock, is going to be getting multiplayer very soon. They've said July. I've been testing it today, and I just wanted to let you guys know that the Founders Edition is still going, which is only, I think, $13. And for $13, you get the full game and all its future updates, and then you'll get a full release key when that happens. So I just wanted to give you the heads up that it's, I think at the moment, even for what's on offer for the single player stuff, the game's pretty cool for $13. And you'll find a link to that in the video's description. Mr. Survivor, who is in my own Discord all the time, he's a really stellar bloke. If you haven't heard of it, he has made a mod installer. And I've used it once with Resident Evil 9, and it was literally like 3 clicks of a button. And I think this is such a big deal for VR mods, because one of the things that puts everyone off is trying to figure out how to install these things. And I'm not going to lie to you, in the past it's been a real struggle, but with this installer, as I said, it's going to be a couple of clicks and you're going to be into the game. So far, or should I say what's coming next, is System Shock. He's going to be featuring that, which is actually a GTVR title, and I think it might auto import the correct profile, which would be something I've never experienced before. Normally with UVR, you go and get the profile from Flat2VR Discord, you then import the file, and then you inject the game. It's pretty simple, to be honest. What's not simple is trying to get the game to actually run well sometimes. It's always best to run these games on a flat screen and then try it in VR, because then hopefully you can drop down the settings depending on your rig. That's personally my experience with it. But in there already as well is Ready or Not, Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes, which is really cool, Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 8, Dead Island 2, Aliens Fireteam, Alien Isolation, RoboCop, and as I said, Resident Evil 9. So I'll leave a link to that in this video's description. And I know some of you guys are getting into modding. I think now's a really good time. We're not too sure on VR games and VR releases, so VR modding is really carrying the can VR at the moment. One of my favorite games on the N64, Perfect Dark, now has a VR mod, and I tested it yesterday, and I want to say it's pretty good, but there is some things I think in testing that people need to know about. Firstly, it doesn't work with Quest 3 all that well. The menus all appear in double vision. I reached out to the modder about this, and he basically said it wasn't made with Quest 3 in mind. So what he has made it in mind with is Quest 2. But you can also use Quest 3S. You'll get the double vision if you try pcvr with PSVR 2 at the moment. I haven't tested that, but I saw enough on the Quest 3 not to want to use a Quest 3. So I used my Quest 3S. And it is actually really cool. He's added 6 DOF controls, dual weapon wielding, and it's very simple to install. You basically need the right ROM in his installer, which I'll leave a link to in the description. Tells you what ROM you need. Then you just need to rename the ROM, exactly what he tells you to rename it, place it in the correct folder, and then load the injector. And I actually think Perfect Dark looks better than ever. It does have a bit of a fisheye effect, And I don't know how people are going to feel about that, whether they're going to feel very comfortable with it. I kind of got used to it, and I enjoyed at least the first 3 levels. As I said, I thought the game looked better than ever. I've never really seen it look this good. Scale is a bit weird. It looks a bit large. I haven't spoken to him about this, but I think reducing the scale a little bit would help. But overall, it's fantastic. And obviously, it would be amazing if we get GoldenEye next. Next up, if you watched the latest VR game showcase, there was a game called Bomb the Hill that was shown. This is basically a VR downhill skating game, and the developers are looking for testers. So there's a link in this description to go to their Discord and check the game out. Testing has already started. I haven't had a chance to check it out myself, but I'm sure you guys would be a great help to them to make the game as best it can be for when it releases. RoboQuest VR, which is already available on pcvr and PSVR 2, is finally coming to the Quest 3. And in my opinion, along with Flat Out 4, this really proved what Flat VR are really capable of when it comes to modding these games from a flat screen into virtual reality. And the reason I say that is because when you play these games, you wouldn't know they were originally flat screen games. I think RoboQuest is a fantastic game. I know not roguelikes are everyone's cup of tea, but it's got some fantastic weapons. I think it looks stellar on PSVR 2 and PCVR. So I'm hoping it kind of looks good on the Quest. Not sure if I said this already, but it's coming July 23rd. So I should be back to be able to drop a review for it. And I'm kind of looking forward to it, especially in co-op. On a side note, Bobo VR have dropped a brand new head strap called the M3 and M3 Pro. The M3 doesn't feature a battery, but you can remove this compartment to add a battery if you want in the future. The new batteries, which are lesser in capacity but have fast charging in 20 minutes, do not fit the S3 head strap, which is, I think, probably the most popular head strap in VR for comfort. But I gotta say, this one is well worth the upgrade, and I'll tell you why, because it's got 2 adjustment points on this, so you can really get the headset locked in. So comfort wise, I think they're very similar, the S3 and the M3, but if you ever find yourself readjusting your headset once you have it on and you kind of get fed up doing that, this is the head strap for you, because literally once it's locked in, it just will not move. And I think, especially for players who are younger playing games like Gorilla Tag, this is exactly the head strap they need. It's really cool. I'll leave a link to it in the description. It's my affiliate link, so it'll support the channel if you do choose to pick it up. It is going to be my go-to head strap, and there's codes in there for both straps to save yourself $10. Team Beef recently dropped a little trailer teasing one of their upcoming projects, which is Star Trek Elite Force. Now, personally, I haven't played this game, but when I teased the trailer on X, people got quite excited. So it's coming soon, and it's coming to Quest and pcvr, which is pretty cool. And if you want to follow anything these guys are doing, I'll leave a link to their Discord. Go and check them out. Definitely go and support them as well. I think they've done some great work for VR over the years. Now on to some new VR games. Aeternum Infecti is coming to Steam in early access on July 24th. This is a brand new post-apocalyptic open-world survival game by Beyond Division. Now the twist of this game is, unlike most zombie games set years after the apocalypse, this takes place just 1 week after the outbreak, and the cities and the apartments are still fully intact, but they are empty and eerie, giving the game a unique day after atmosphere. You play as a survivor called Marlowe alongside a companion named Anna, and as I said, it's an open world sandbox where you scavenge houses, dodge the smart infected zombies, and manage classic survival mechanics. It is a hybrid title as well, so it's going to be playable in flat screen, which is third person, and in VR, and as I said, it's coming to PC VR. I personally think it does look a little bit rough at the moment, but if there is some interest around it, let me know in the comments and I'll make a review. And that's all I've got for you today. As I said, it's a very light month. There is new games coming to Quest, but none of them I'm particularly interested in, unfortunately, unless I've missed something. If I have, let me know down in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next one.